I was just gonna go through the next Caleb and Sophia video, and it turns out it's a musical, which makes it tricky business, because musicals are picked up by Content ID a lot easier than normal YouTube videos. Although I understand YouTube just rolled out a brand new Content ID system or something, so who knows what that's gonna do to us YouTubers. Anyways, the point is that I'm gonna show clips from it and tell you what they're saying. I think it's better that way for a number of other reasons anyways. One more thing, you guys should check out my podcast, where I'm reading the new Jehovah's Witness book, Pure Worship of Jehovah, based on the book of Ezekiel. It's a pretty interesting book. I've been releasing it on YouTube every Thursday around 9 p.m. I think we're on chapter 4 now. Okay, let's get into it. Okay, here's the beginning of the music video. It's Sophia singing, and she says, "Anytime, anywhere I can pray, and Jehovah will hear what I say. When each morning I wake, I remember to take just a moment to thank him for this day, for the wonders I find on my way. In my mind, in my heart, I can pray. Even when there's a crowd, and I can't pray aloud, still Jehovah will hear me anyway. Anytime, anywhere I can pray, and Jehovah will hear what I say. In the night he will hear, when I call he is near. Anytime, anywhere I can pray." That's the entirety of the clip. The song is a cringe factory. But check this bit out. It says, "Even when there's a crowd and I can't pray aloud, still Jehovah will hear me anyway." And it shows this scene. She wasn't sitting with anybody. She looks around, found some kids to sit near, and then after sitting down with them, then she prays. Kids are expected to view school as their own territory. A lot of the time, Jehovah's Witnesses can't reach certain houses, like in gated communities, for example. So kids are supposed to try to preach to their classmates. They're even taught little tricks to start the conversation, like this right here. Pray in the cafegimatorium. People will notice what you're doing and ask you about it. When you don't say the Pledge of Allegiance, people will ask about it. When you don't take part in any of the holiday celebrations, kids will ask about it. Put children through hell to accomplish your goals. That's the bottom line. Socially ostracize them. Make them look and feel completely different from everybody around them. I personally didn't get bullied too terribly as a result of my status as a Jehovah's Witness, but a lot of kids do. I did, however, get asked about it. I did have to sit off to the side while everybody else took part in fun activities. That part of the music video wasn't even the focus. It just really got to me. It was a 3-second clip out of the entire thing. I'm still disgusted by the fact that they're indoctrinating kids with this. I'm still disgusted that they're trying to convince kids that there's an invisible person watching everything they say and do at all times. I have stories of how that's really haunted some people before. Okay, that was the end of that Caleb and Sophia video. Let's move on to the next one.
Come on, Caleb, time to check out. Caleb, no candy today. Yes, me too. Somewhere in here.
If you steal, will you be Jehovah's friend? Do you want to be Jehovah's friend?
Let's go, honey.
Okay, this one was seemingly harmless at its surface. It's just teaching kids not to steal. But there were a couple things I want to note about it. I told Kylie she shouldn't steal because we don't want anybody to steal our stuff, so we agree not to steal their stuff. And we pay police to protect us if people do steal our stuff. It's the deal we made when we joined society. We don't want it to happen to us, so we agree not to do it to anybody either. If we do, we have to face consequences. What was the reason they gave for stealing? I completely missed it.
If you steal, will you be Jehovah's friend? Do you want to be Jehovah's friend?
Okay, that's weird. It comes back to being Jehovah's friend? And what happens if the kid stops believing in Jehovah? Oh right, mentally diseased. Forgot about that. Look, we don't need Jehovah to not steal. As far as I can remember, I haven't stolen anything since I turned atheist. I'm sure I can speak for plenty of my fellow YouTubers. Genetically modified skeptic, Holy Kool-Aid, Professor Stick. As far as I know, none of them are kleptos either, although I have my doubts about Professor Stick. Jehovah's Witnesses tell people that these videos are just teaching kids morals, teaching them to be obedient to their parents, teaching them that stealing is wrong, all that. But what they fail to mention is the fact that they don't give real reasons for avoiding these behaviors. They tell kids that they're not supposed to do this or that because they want Jehovah to continue to like them. That's not helpful. In fact, it's outright harmful in my eyes. Give them solid reasons. Don't make shit up. We're gonna see this problem magnified when they use Sophia's character to tell us that being gay is wrong. Okay, next one.
Sophia, are you ready to go out in service? What's in your bag? Looks like you're missing something. What do you need for service? Very good! You need your Bible for service. Do you need anything else? Kids, can you help Sophia? Which one does she need for service? Magazines! That's right, kids! Sophia, one more thing. How will you remember the people we meet? Very good! Do you have a pencil? Excellent, Sophia. I think you're all set. Kids, what do you think? Is she ready? Yes! Okay, let's go practice what you're gonna say.
It's genuinely hard to watch these videos sometimes. This is pure, unadulterated child brainwashing. It's almost like an episode of Dora the Explorer. The way these kids have been yelling the answers in the background, the way they give them the choice between different objects. Except instead of teaching them Spanish or English or some other useful skill, this is teaching them to be servants of a corporation that will separate them from their parents permanently if they ask too many questions. Okay, let's take a look at the next one. Blowing through these bad boys.
It looks like Caleb is getting hungry. Let's see how Caleb asks his mom for food.
Mom, I need food now. I'm hungry.
Caleb!
Do you think that was the best way to ask for food?
No!
Let's give Caleb a second chance and listen to what special word he uses this time.
Mom, can you please make me something to eat?
Oh, yes, sweetie. I'm gonna make you the best sandwich ever.
That's much better. That word please makes all the difference. Even Jehovah uses the word please. Now that you got what you asked for, Caleb, what do you say?
Thank you, Mommy.
Very good. Always remember to say please and thank you. And don't forget to thank Jehovah.
Okay, great moral. I love it. Now, let's remove any trace of cult brainwashing or references to their god. Remove that bit about praying, because I don't see how that relates to being polite. Package it up and send it out. Oh god, the next one's another musical. Please don't make me go through this. Look, I know some people like musicals. They just aren't my style. I hear Hamilton was great. I hear Rent is really popular in the gay community. That's all great. They just aren't for me. Something outrageously cringeworthy about musicals to me. I'll be interested to see how many people unsubscribe for me after that. Anyways, we'll do the same as before. Let's see what the lyrics say. Giving makes you happy, and that's what Jesus taught. I like to give to others whether they give back or not. I like to see how happy it makes them when I do. When I see happy faces, it makes me happy too. I like getting presents, but just like Jesus said, I'm happier, I know, if I can give a gift instead. Sometimes I give a present of something that I love, or giving help to others, it doesn't take a lot. Giving makes me happy, I know it's really true, how a gift can be a small thing, even things I say or do. Yes, giving makes me happy, I know it's really true. Plus, giving is a nice way of saying I love you. Well, that's a nice one. Can't really complain much about that message. I think people should be more like that. That's definitely how I grew up, and Jehovah's Witnesses obviously do push that in their society. I've talked about it before, in fact. Only problem is that they only ever want you to give to other Jehovah's Witnesses, never to the rest of society. A good example of that is when Hurricane Katrina hit Louisiana, Jehovah's Witnesses were sending people down to build houses for other Jehovah's Witnesses. I was one of the volunteers, though I didn't end up getting to go for one reason or another. But they draw such a dark line between themselves and the rest of society that they refuse to help people who don't think exactly the same way as they do. That's the actual definition of bigotry. You know, I used to think bigotry was an umbrella term under which racism, sexism, and other isms fell, but it turns out that that isn't what it means. Here's the definition of bigotry: intolerance toward those who hold different opinions from oneself. That describes Jehovah's Witnesses' behavior perfectly. They're bigots, every one of them. It's built into the structure of their belief system. If you aren't a bigot, then you can't be Jehovah's Witness. Now, like I said, I would love to see this value spread far and wide. Be more generous. Be nicer to people. Help them. I think that's a good thing. But this message only applies if they're dealing with other Jehovah's Witnesses. I would never be okay with going to Louisiana and rebuilding the house of one person specifically because they think the same way as me, but refusing to build a house for the person next door because they don't. That's disgusting behavior, and it's endorsed by the governing body and carried out by the members. To qualify for tax-exempt status as a corporation, you're supposed to be able to demonstrate that you provide something of value to society. The world benefits because your company exists. But religions are kind of unique in the fact that they seemingly just have to prove that they're a religion, and suddenly they get everything handed to them in the US. It's kind of depressing, actually. When I had to do volunteer work in high school, I just marked down my hours in service. That easy. I was volunteering my time to an organization after all. Unfortunately, the school allowed me to do that, probably not even realizing how harmful that organization actually is. Unfortunately, that organization didn't use my time wisely at all. They were using it to actively do damage to society most of the time, and on occasion my time was used to benefit only other members of that organization. I would love to see Jehovah's Witnesses' tax-exempt status yanked. I'd love to see them fined for every instance of human rights abuses, namely every instance of shunning. I've said this before, but I don't believe in banning religions. It's messy business, and I probably wouldn't do it even if it would work. I don't want to live in a society that has laws against thoughts, feelings, or beliefs. The best way to battle that stuff is by using your speech to express your own counter thoughts, feelings, or beliefs. Jehovah's Witnesses are just locking into their position even deeper since getting banned by Russia. That's just feeding their persecution complex and making things worse. And honestly, I'm not even opposed to the existence of this religion. That's fine. Believe what you want. Do what you want. My qualm is with their behavior. If we started fining them for every human rights abuse, they'd either fix the problem or they'd disappear. Either way, the problem is solved. Anyways, that's all I've got for you. Don't forget to check out my Patreon. I went full-time with this a little while back. I quit my job and started working as an activist. So anything you can do to keep my anti-extremism activism going is so deeply appreciated. Also, check me out on the John Cedars channel where I just did an interview with him the other day. Also, check me out on all social media and check out my podcast where I'm reading the Jehovah's Witnesses' new book, Pure Worship of Jehovah, chapter by chapter until it's done. Links to the podcast and everything else are in the description as always. Thanks for watching, guys.